Louisiana Supreme Court was in session today in New Orleans. A pair of Arklatex attorneys were bringing a case against Statute 1341-63. Now, that law allows any Louisiana lawmaker who is also an attorney to demand a legislative continuance for any court case in which he's involved, and it must be granted. The inference is that it creates unreasonable delays in trials. The question is it unconstitutional? Here's Arklatex attorney Cole Sarton on that statute.
Violates the principles of checks and balances, which is fundamental to our democracy. And it does this because it provides a mechanism for legislators at their own discretion to continue any deadline or any court proceeding anytime the legislator is engaged in any activity.
The Louisiana Attorney General's office argued the case for the state. Larry Freeman represented the AG's office.
This whole case is essentially moot, and there's no justiciable controversy pending before this court. The court essentially should dismiss this case.
Freeman says the case in question is set for trial in October, and there is no pending legislative motion to continue, adding there's no chance of the use of that legislative continuance. Constitutional attorney Royal Alexander watched the hearing in our newsroom, and he had this reaction.
What I took away from watching the oral argument today was the justices seemed skeptical about the reach of these legislative continuances into a courtroom, into the core judicial function, thereby telling a judge, mandating what a judge can do regarding continuances. And I think the court was most concerned about the fact that our three branches of government each has to stay in their own lane.
Earlier this evening, KTBS presented a special 30-minute conversation with Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. If you didn't see it, here's a little of what you missed. The Speaker talked about many subjects: presidential campaigns, the economy, energy policy, and the overall state of the country.
It's a dangerous time. It's the most dangerous time since World War II. The economy is on the brink. Everything is broken, and we've got to fix it. But the good news is, because of the wisdom of our founders, they give us an opportunity to do that every 2 years for Congress, every 4 years for President, and this is our opportunity, and we got to take it.
Meanwhile, Congress is poised for yet another funding showdown this fall. Republicans and Democrats are facing off over spending levels ahead of the October deadline. Sources say Speaker Johnson is eyeing a plan to present legislation in the first few days of the session that would fund the government into the spring. You know, a continuing resolution. Lawmakers will have just 13 days to find a path forward when they return next week. And Donald Trump wants Elon Musk's help finding fraud in the government. During a speech today at the Economic Club of New York,